are from Damien Logan's Apex, and they came and they evolved and adapted, and their clubs are a lot like Seagulls, they're more like what we're doing here. And so their kids translate into the champions and such at high school because they've been doing it for 12, 13 years. And it's just a proof is in the pudding kind of thing. So our kids aren't that far away. They're really not. So a couple of fixes in this group, a couple of fixes that group, by the time we get them, there's no reason we shouldn't be competing for group titles and making the playoff runs and having our district. We had first district champ, him and Elijah, this year in like the past 12 years.
Yeah.
So there's no reason that shouldn't be the new standard. It's going to be the new standard, but there's no reason it shouldn't even be higher.
And as far as the neutral position, as far as offense, I know we'll talk about some defense and things like that. The lines of defense, we'll get into that when we talk about neutral defense. One last thing, Riz, if you want to go over, just like our turn in the corner, drive for 3 feet. So one thing that we wanted to kind of teach our guys this year was finishing their shots. Like Coach Riz said, a lot of guys would take faraway shots or bad shots, and then they would end up extended. So not only in closing the gap, we also wanted to teach them turning the corner, driving for 3 as a way to finish their shots and blast through. So
regardless of whatever shot you're doing, we'll shoot a double for demonstration's sake. Every shot you take always finishes on an angled turn with forward pressure. It doesn't matter if it's a double or single, it doesn't matter. But if I hit the double and if I hit the double and I come in here, and I'm in my position here, if I don't do my drive for 3, and Amir's a good wrestler, he's going to just roll. Now, I'm not going to be able to just eat it up this way. He's going to extend me stuff ahead, he's doing a good job, and I'm not going to get it. The reason that we drive and turn for 3 is when I'm here, what I'm going to do, while keeping these principles in place, is I'm going to pop up into my stance, but notice my head height. It didn't change. So I'm here. When I stood up, I didn't do this. I'm in my stance, and then I'm turning slightly like this. I'm turning slightly like this. I'm literally going to go into like a track meet that way as I'm finishing my double. Where I hit this double here, I pop into my stance, I turn, and run it down. On the side. In football, you hit somebody with a tackle, you get underneath them and lift them and drive into them. In wrestling, I can't do it that exact way because if I go this way to here and I start running into him, that doesn't get me what I want. I have to go and change the angle to get my finish.
To be a good wrestler, learn to do it right. The other thing that's really important, Anthony, get in, head up, back straight, and stop. If Anthony puts his head down and looks down, he just lost. All that little motion of his neck, now he's just going to stuff his neck and shove it and scroll. If I don't keep my head position and my head straight up, I'm in trouble. Now again, you might get it against the bag, if not a good.
So one thing we did too to kind of illustrate that to the kids was, Riz, stand up with your arms out.
Yeah.
So we had a kid stand up with his arms out to the side, and Coach Riz was trying to push down as hard as he can, and told Amir, hold his arms up. So Coach Riz is having a hard time. So then we say, Amir, tuck your chin to your chest, and you lose all your power. So that's the way we kind of illustrate to the kids, this is why it's important to have your head up. And for the little kids, like that's something that they'll look at, like, oh, that's cool. And then so if you just show them, keep your head up, look how strong you are, tuck your chin and drop. So that's kind of how we conveyed it to the high school kids as well. So that's something you guys can use.
And I'll have fun with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like that.
But it's just true.
Yeah. That's the thing with any of those keys. With your head down, it doesn't work. If my head's up, but my back's like this, it's not straight, and he sprawls, I don't have any support. My head's starting under me. So any of those keys go away.
To take that to the next level, do a knee pound in when you do get stretched out to get back into position to show how you.
I can. I don't want to get too much into technique. I'm going to say that for videos, but if we're here and I'm in this deep position and this guy starts to give me resistance on that sprawl, what we're looking to do is re-improve to that same position.
I'm not looking to score.
I'm not worried about scoring. That comes after. I need to get back to where I just was. So I take in my knee pound is I'm going to take this leg that's on the drive side. I'm going to use it to support my weight to take this knee off. And I'm going to slide this knee back underneath him and look up to the ceiling here. Head up, back straight, that's it. He sprawls. Do it again. I do it again, and I turn that corner, and I keep
turning that corner and driving, turning that corner and driving, turning that corner. Just a net battle, like how it works. If we need county drill, we will put all this into the YouTube, so that you guys see below this kind of stuff. Check the finer points.
And with this drive for three, when we we have our kids do our shadow wrestling, and then we yell out shots. As part of that shots, they know to finish on that drive for three. So if these two are wrestling, and they're shadow wrestling, and then we go shoot. So when he shoots, boom, he'll drive for three. He'll practice it. So that way, these guys know. All right. So a lot of the time, like I said, our kids would get in shots, and we would get stuck, and then we would have to teach them like how to knee pound and rebound. All right. And then another thing with this drive for three is this: after I'm taking that shot, if I'm pressuring in, it limits this guy from reshooting on me, because even though I might not have got in there on that shot, I'm still driving, and it's getting me back on this hill, so now I can recover and get back in better position.
So, the drive for three is, like I said, anything. It can be a high crotch. I think this high crotch, if I just stay here, I'm screwed. When you get to the next level, high crotches sort of become obsolete unless you switch to a single. So I would switch this to a single, and I'm driving for three. Come right back to my feet on that angle. If he shoots a high crotch in today's stuff, if he shoots a high crotch in today's high end game, we top kids, region champ state, you're not gonna finish. Because the first thing that guy's doing is coming over with the front, you're gonna get punched through the back door, and all the goofy stuff comes. So again, the sporty balls, like I was saying. So now these high crotches are turning into a high crotch into a single, and now I'm coming up to my feet with it and going that route. So it's the same concept. Drive for three on the turn. If I hit a sweep single from here, I can't stay here, or I'm in trouble. I have to improve my position, get my head up, drive for three, drive for three. I'm in. And finish something. But just the concept of every shot requires you to change the angle, get to your feet, and pressure. Every one. So everything I tried to convey tonight has been more of a position focus, less of a technique focus. And I didn't want it to come out as like a this way's best or better. I wanted to convey more of like a this is how you figure out if what you're looking at works for you in our system. If you guys could be on YouTube or club or at a clinic or whatever the case is, you see technique. Most times it's not good, to be honest with you. Most times I watch flow, it's not good technique. If I go on YouTube and watch a move, most times it's shitty technique. It really is. I know that, I've been doing it for so long, but